Hey MFFLs, Harrison Graham here with another video. If you want Dame time in Dallas, well, all you got to do is like this video. Come on, who doesn't want Damian Lillard with Luka Doncic with the Dallas Mavericks? I know you guys want it. That's what I want too, so let's make it happen. Like this video if you're with me. With that being said, Damian Lillard trade rumors coming up right now. You're watching Dallas Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham, back with another video, and we got to do Damian Lillard blockbuster trade rumors on today's show. And hey, multiple reports really, one from Chris Haynes, which is kind of a loose report, but the one from last week from The Athletic saying that Dame's camp has, quote, a sense of urgency to win and to win right now. Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports dropped the article yesterday saying that he could demand a trade due to backlash of the hiring process that ultimately led to Chauncey Billups and the failure to contend so far in recent years with the Portland Trailblazers. And hey, let's be honest. The Mavericks need a star next to Luka Doncic. We thought that would be Kristaps Porzingis, but that has not ended up being the case. Dame plus Luka would be insert fire emoji. I mean, come on. Could you imagine these two guys playing together in Dallas? They could combine for 70 on any given night. And yeah, they both need the ball to be effective, but you know what? I think they're both good enough off ball as well. I think Jason Kidd could stagger these guys' minutes, who, by the way, Damian Lillard wanted Jason Kidd in Portland. He ends up getting the Mavericks job. Just wanted to throw that out there as well. How bad do you want Damian Lillard in Dallas? Scale it of 1 to 10. Yes, you can type 50 in the comments. That would show me how badly you want Dame Dalla in Dallas because, once again, come on. Damian Lillard with the Mavericks, that would be absolutely electric. Scale it from 1 to 10 right now. You pair these two together, I mean, you find a better backcourt in the NBA. I don't think that you can with how good of a triple threat Luka is as a scorer, passer, rebounder, and an improving defender as well. Lillard is arguably the best pure scoring point guard in the NBA at almost 29 a game. He's lethal from 30-plus feet, which is obviously very valuable in today's NBA with the spacing and all of that good stuff. I think this duo could really, really make it work. And I mentioned that Luka needs a true sidekick because Porzingis just hasn't been that guy. When he was healthy in the regular season, he was fine, 20 points, 8 rebounds, but he kind of slipped compared to what we were seeing last year, especially in the bubble. Tim Hardaway Jr. stepped up this year, but we know he's more of a number 3 at best. JB, good guard off the bench, but he's not a starter. Josh Richardson, forget him. The guy was a bum in the playoffs. The question that I think a lot of this would come down to, because I know Mavs Twitter is hot right now, like, oh, Damian Lillard, get him to Dallas. Well, number one, you got to ask yourself, would Portland take Kristaps Porzingis? In a two-team trade, the only way this works is if the Trailblazers want to get Kristaps Porzingis. That's really the only way the finances could add up. There's other avenues, but I just don't see it working out that way. And if it's based on the playoffs, why would the Trailblazers want Porzingis? 13 points, 5 boards, couldn't hit a 3 either, was basically an afterthought for the Mavericks in this postseason as Tim Hardaway Jr. had to be the Robin to Luka's Batman, which again, you're asking THJ to do way too much. That was what KP was supposed to be, but it just hasn't panned out the way that the Mavericks were hoping it would. So I think if you're going to trade for Damian Lillard, it's going to have to include Kristaps Porzingis. So I pulled up the ESPN trade machine, and I just cooked this up based on matching salaries and the assets the Mavericks have. Damian Lillard and Derrick Jones Jr. to the Mavs. Derrick Jones helps fill salary. He's a salary dump for Portland. Kristaps Porzingis, Maxi Kleber, Jalen Brunson, and 2 first-round picks, 25 and 27. Can't trade any before then due to the Porzingis trade from the New York Knicks. Would you do this trade? Type Y for yes, type N for no. For me, it's a no-brainer. I absolutely would. The problem is I don't think Portland's doing this trade. I don't think this is enough. I don't think 2 first-round picks is enough to begin with, much less a 2025 and a 2027 first-round pick. That's the issue Dallas is going to run into when they try and trade for Damian Lillard, is they don't have immediate impactful draft picks. That's a big problem here. And you would say, and on the flip side, if you don't have that, you need impactful players right away. Well, Porzingis is the closest to what you have, and he's injury-prone and unreliable. So what does that really do for you? I'm not so sure. So I think if you're going to trade for Damian Lillard, a third or even a fourth team is almost necessary to get involved. I just don't think you're going to be able to pull it off in just a one-for-one swap here straight up with Portland. There's going to have to be a third team with assets involved, and you're probably going to have to take on a bad contract or two from another team to make it happen. But hey, if you can get Damian Lillard, I think anyone is available as long as it is not Luka Doncic. Subscribe to Mavericks Today. If you are a true MFFL, hit that subscribe button because, hey, I've been bringing you videos all off-season long, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. You see the link below flashing on screen, youtube.com/MavsTV. Just hit that big red button and subscribe. Share that link, that URL with all your MFFLs, your buddies below. And, hey, let's continue to grow this channel so I can keep doing videos for you, and so can we as a whole here at Chat Sports. Talk a little free agency here on Dallas Mavericks Today. How about signing DeMar DeRozan in NBA free agency? The Mavs Step Back Podcast threw this idea out there. They also included Kyle Lowry in the discussion, but I wanted to focus on DeRozan on today's show. We've talked about Lowry before. We'll probably talk about him again as well. But let's focus on DeMar, who's set to be a free agent this summer after a few years with the San Antonio Spurs. The question you got to ask really with any player in free agency, especially a high-level guy like DeRozan, is he the right fit next to Luka moving forward? Now, a lot of you out there are probably like, DeRozan, he's too old. He's actually only 31. He's not that old. In NBA years, especially with the modern science and medicine, that's not that old. I'm actually intrigued by the idea of DeMar for a couple reasons. Number one, I think he even knows if he wants to win, he's not Batman. We saw that in Toronto, which is why they traded for Kawhi, for DeMar, and won a title with Kawhi as Batman and Kyle Lowry as Robin. I think DeMar can be a good Robin. I really, really do. 21.5 points per game as San Antonio's primary scorer. And what I really like here, almost 50% from the field. And that's with a lot of mid-range jumpers. And the mid-range game has kind of made a return to the NBA in recent years. And DeMar is one of the best at it. Now, he doesn't shoot many threes, which isn't great. But 7 assists per game, he's really improved. And what is something we in that area as a creator? And what have we talked about here on Dallas Mavericks Today? Not only does Luka need a secondary star, he needs a creator. DeMar's become a creator, not just for himself, but for his teammates as well. 6.9 assists per game, that's not just a throw-in stat there. He can take some pressure off Luka at times, and you can play Luka off ball and run the offense through DeMar if you need to. That's very, very intriguing to me for a guy who can give you 20-plus points per game at a very, very efficient clip. He doesn't force the issues. You know why he doesn't shoot threes? Because he's not good at it, and he understands that. He's not Westbrook, who's just going to keep jacking him up. I think as a number 2 guy, he could really, really fit in well on a 3 or a 4-year contract. Since he's only 31, maybe he'll be 32 at some point next season, but that's still fairly young in today's NBA. So what do you guys think? Should Dallas sign DeMar DeRozan in free agency this offseason? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Get your votes in on this one. And like I said, I kind of alluded to it before. I think DeRozan can work as a Robin. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, you get DeMar DeRozan, you solve all your problems. That's not what I'm saying, but I think it takes some pressure off Luke. I think his high-impact player usage rating minutes go down somewhat significantly. You can get him a little bit more of breaks, especially in these critical games, against high-quality opponents and in the playoffs as well, which, what did we see in the playoffs? Every time he checked out, it was like a 10-2 run for the Clippers. Just can't have it, and he's been very consistent. Those last 3 years have been with San Antonio. 2017-18 was still with Toronto, but he's a consistent 20 to 23-point scorer in the NBA. Now, I don't think he'll give you 23 playing next to Luka. I think he's more in that 20 range, but it'll be efficient, and he can help as a playmaker as well, up from 5.6 assists to 6.9 in a year-by-year comparison there from 2019-20 to 2020-2021. So I'm a big fan of that. And again, this offseason is all about maximizing Luka. How can you get the right pieces around your phenom, and that is Luka Doncic, who we know he's going to be the best player this team has for the foreseeable future, regardless of who Dallas gets this offseason, outside of maybe a miracle trade of Damian Lillard, but even then, it's still probably got to be Luka's team at that point. And that The point of DeMar and the point of this discussion is he can take some of that workload. He can handle some of those high-pressure situations and run the offense through him and feel comfortable. Like, I love Tim Hardaway, but he's not that guy. Porzingis has proven he can't be that guy. At least he wasn't this past year. I'd have to see a lot of evidence suggesting that he could be that guy. DeRozan has played as a number 1 or a number 2 basically for the last decade now, and he's done a pretty good job. Sure, he came up short in some playoff runs with Toronto, but those were still good teams when he was playing with Kyle Lowry, who has also been rumored to the Dallas Mavericks by the Mavs Step Back Podcast and just by a couple of other people on the internet. So pick a player. D for DeRozan, L for Lowry. Who would you rather have if you are Dallas? Keep in mind, Lowry's going to be 35. There's a 3-4 year gap between these two players. So D for DeMar DeRozan, L for Kyle Lowry. Get your votes in on this one, and we'll see you next time here on Dallas Mavericks Today.